runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Last day in pads for the Cowboys up in Oxnard, and it got Sam Williams and Micah Parsons got into it out on the practice field. Down in Houston, joint practices with the Dolphins, C.J. Stroud throws 3 touchdowns against Miami as they get ready for their game on Saturday, while the Big 12 says no to the Zags and UConn. And coming up, we got Rangers, Angels.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous, I don't pain.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. Of course, you can follow us on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, comment along with the show, or you can just call or text in 656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the show, or you can get at me on Instagram, Twitter, X, Threads, TikTok. I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star, where all the great content comes from San Antonio Sports Star. I talked about it in the Sports Center. The Cowboys are putting finishing touches up in Oxnard as they get ready to head out for their second preseason game against Seattle before returning back to the Star. While the Texans are ramping up a stretch here where they have 12 days, 4 joint practices, and 2 preseason games to close out their preseason. The Cowboys not scheduling any joint practices this year. And Mike McCarthy talked about the last day in pads up in Oxnard earlier today.
The work was excellent yesterday, and really, I mean, you were at the practice. We're just trying to hit as many situations as possible, and that's what we'll do today. You know, we'll have a 2-minute drill. We'll have no huddle. We'll have a red zone competition. Then we'll have a extended team period hitting first, second, third, and fourth down. So we just want to hit as much situational work as we can today.
There aren't a lot of concerns with the Cowboys. I said this yesterday. Their defense is great. I expect their offense to be fantastic with the weapons they've added. My concerns lie in their depth on the offensive side more than anything, and with the kicking game. Joe doesn't share my concerns with only having an unproven Brandon Aubrey in camp. Jason, who will be joining me here on Extra Innings here in a few minutes, is with me and thinks at least competition for the young kid. Why not? And Mike McCarthy, when talking about Brandon Aubrey earlier today at the podium, well, if I'm a fan, I don't want my kicker referred to with positives talking about kickoffs.
I think Brandon's said, if you go back to the game, I think we talked about that a little bit in the walk-off the other day, but extremely, strong leg. I mean, his kickoffs are as strong as that I've seen. Love his kickoffs. We've been really emphasizing, the operation because, we're behind there and, as far as the number of reps and amount of work that we've been able to do. So the goal was to speed it up some. We hit the target. If anything, we were too fast on the one that he missed. So great, the production that was obviously, but I thought the step of getting to where we need to get, in the operation of the battery, the snapper holder, and and kicker. I thought we definitely took a big step, against Jacksonville.
I mean, when you're praising his kickoffs, I shouldn't fill you with a lot of confidence. And to be fair, you a lot of reason in recent years to have confidence in the kicking game. Brett Maher earned it last year until he lost it. And that's how it goes with every kicker. You have confidence until you don't. And I think Jason said it best yesterday. I just want to be able to go grab a beer when they kick an extra point. Today he was 5 of 6. His miss was from 36. His long was from 39. So he kicked a whole bunch of chippies and missed one. Look, I would like to see competition brought in for the sheer fact of at least let there be some situations where there's pressure on the line. You can try to simulate pressure all you want in practice situationally, but there's no bigger pressure than looking over your shoulder at someone that is trying to take your job actively. And you can go in as the leader of the clubhouse. Look, a lot of these teams have kicker competitions. The Panthers, Lions, Vikings, Saints, 49ers, Buccaneers, Commanders, Chargers, Patriots, Steelers, and Titans all have multiple kickers in camp. Some of it's to save the leg of their other is for competition. The 49ers took Jake Moody in the 3rd round this year. He is probably going to win that job. Zane Gonzalez has been a kicker in this league for a while. You've got guys like Robbie Gould and Mason Crosby just sitting at home right now. There's no harm in kicking the tires on something like that just to find out, just to see. If the Chargers go with Cameron Dicker and cut Dustin Hopkins, you have another veteran kicker that has made big kicks in the NFL. If they cut Dustin Hopkins and Cameron Dicker ends up available, I think that would be a great addition for the Dallas Cowboys. Will Lutz is going to be the kicker for New Orleans. Blake Group at least showed he can kick a game-winning field goal when it matters. He'll get stopped on the way out the game. But is somebody that has hit a pressure kick in a game already in the preseason. The Buccaneers have Rodrigo Blankenship and Chase McLaughlin. Both of them are NFL kickers that have had gigs in the past. Rodrigo Blankenship, most of y'all know him as Goggles. Used to kick for the Indianapolis Colts. Commanders have another couple of kickers, and Michael Badgley and Joey Sly. Both have been kickers in this league. Badgley with the Chargers for a long period of time. Joey Sly, most notably, remember probably for his time with the Carolina Panthers. There will be people available at the end of the year, or at the end of preseason when roster cuts come down. I don't see an issue with injecting some competition. As a matter of fact, I would have had Robbie Gould or Mason Crosby in camp by now, just to warm up, get some kicks in. And heck, if Brandon Aubrey's the guy and he holds them off, because I'm not a big fan of Mason Crosby in the first place. I think he's kind of started to lose it. But if he holds them off, proves your point. There's no problem with having an extra kicker in camp, a 90th man on the roster. Just for the sheer value of peace of mind. I'll talk more with this at Jason Minix as we continue here on Extra Innings, but there was something else that Coach McCarthy said today on the podium when talking about DeMarcus Lawrence, and people are worried about production, sacks, things like that, and it has been noted. Sacks have been an issue, but he has been one of the best run-stopping defensive ends at setting the edge, and there is value in that. Jadeveon Clowney used to do that extremely well for the Houston Texans. There is value in that without having massive sack numbers And when you're adding to the interior and you're working as much on run defense and run stopping as they have claimed that they are in practice, that's one thing. But now you've got DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Zua, who has been showing out in camp, Dorrance Armstrong, who played well last year. You've got a bunch of bodies on that front line that are going to get after it. Sam Williams is one guy that a lot of us expect to take a huge jump. And when I hear McCarthy say something like this,
Yeah, I think just like anything, and I think everybody does a good job of this, and it's the definition of destruction versus production. So he's such a destructive player. And also he is a productive player when it comes in the area of big plays and tackles for losses and takeaway generation. And that's something he's been consistent throughout his career. But at the end of the day, I think it's like anything. When you look at players, every one of these guys is a fine, good football player. Then there's great moments they have, but the elite players make the others around them better. And when you're consistently just a player of destruction, you're creating other opportunities for other players.
and this is where stats lie a lot of the time. You can watch with your eyes. Last year I said it. If Trayvon Diggs had half the interceptions but gave up half the yardage, he was going to be a much better player. Well, he had even less than half. He only had 3 picks last year. But he was so much better because he gave up so much less on the back end by not gambling. And his catch percentage against, all of these other things were extremely higher, to where he was basically shutting down and taking away one side of the field last year. That is far much greater, in my opinion, even though he had double-digit interceptions the year before. And some people look at the fall off in his interceptions and think his play fell off. No, it got better. There's a difference. And DeMarcus Lawrence, sacks don't tell the whole tape of what DeMarcus Lawrence does on that football field, because if you've seen it, destruction and production is what he does. He disrupts everything on that offensive line, blows things up, tackles for loss, things that are in the stat sheet, but not what people look for in the stat sheet. And he is a monster at that. And I think those sacks are going to go up this year with the increased focus on one number 11, who is one of the favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter, Threads, everything at I Am Pledger. Follow the station at SA Sports Star, or comment along on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, like Joshua Jimenez, who says joint practices are great. More benefits to have them than in preseason games. I enjoy preseason games as well. I think there's a lot that can be garnered from that, but I think joint practices are also very important. I'd like to hear the reporters ask him maybe tomorrow, if McCarthy does a presser, about the lack of joint practices and if he believes in them, if they couldn't get any, what happened there, because he has done them before when they play games in LA. It's something I would just like to hear McCarthy's thought process on why no joint practices this year. I am James Pledger. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. When we come back, Jason Minix is going to join me before we get you ready for Rangers Angels, the series finale. But more on the Cowboys with Jason Minix of the Blitz coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic is back Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Sean Claw, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio. Out in your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel. You know, you've probably heard me talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time now. Summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Did you know our hot Texas sun pounding down on your roof can degrade and age your roof? You need a reliable roofer, and that is Stevens Roofing. They're online at stevensroofing.net, or you can give them a call at 210-785-0994. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds offer big, bold flavors like sea salt and cracked black pepper, spicy dill, and Korean barbecue. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein, bacony crunch. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Learn more at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has a smoking hot deal. Purchase any Mother's Window Tint, car stereo, remote start, or car alarm and get a 1-month free membership to the CFL Smoke Shop's private Amsterdam Club, located next to Mother's on 281 North. Enjoy your gummies in comfort while you get your windows tinted with any one of our high-quality, fully guaranteed films to stop the blazing hot summer sun from burning up you and your car's interior. MothersWindowTint.com with stores in San Antonio and Austin. Follow us on Facebook. Add a professional layer of security to your car with our remote start car alarm combo. Make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump with one of our subwoofers, stereos, backup cameras, name brands, and expert installation. Remember, do it at Mothers and save.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am joined now by the host of The Blitz, Jason Minix, weekdays 2 to 6, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And Jason had something very interesting he said earlier today that I wanted to get into first. Yeah. Long shots for NFL MVP. And I noticed there, on social media, there were some people that didn't agree with your take about Dak Prescott being a possible candidate for an MVP. Actually, candidate that if you're going to throw just a little bit of scratch down that can pay some big yielded results, I like it because when healthy, like 2021, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 2019 full season, the other full season he played, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, nearly 5,000 yards. And if he does that with Mike McCarthy, who looks like he's going to want to throw the ball quite a bit with this receiving core that he has, he could put up some monster numbers.
You know, on the ESPN fantasy marathon thing that they're doing right now, a ton of yards. I forget how many yards they predicted Dak to have, and I think it was 28 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. And, you know, of course, everybody focuses on the interception number. And then you go back and you go, well, I thought there was going to be a commitment to the run. Is Dak going to throw it 40 times a game? And we know his record when they throw it more than 40. They get to 39, they got to stop. But in reality, and that's the point of the conversation, it's not, well, I'm a Cowboy homer and let's go with Dak. It's if you're looking for a dark horse candidate, which was, you know, Greeny was talking about that this morning on Get Up, and he goes Trevor Lawrence, and yeah, that's a good long shot candidate. You know, you're not going to make any money putting your money down on, say, a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow. But if the Dallas Cowboys do have that kind of year where they're a legit Super Bowl contender, and with that great defense, the offense, you don't expect to take too much of a step back without Zeke, and maybe it's even going to be a step forward. But let's say that offense does what it's done the last couple of years. Even with Dak's interception numbers, they still have, you know, one of the top 5 offenses in whatever category you want to look at. I think you would start seeing some love come towards Dak Prescott if he can get the Cowboys over that hump. Again, as a long shot, if you're putting a couple of dollars down in Vegas and you want to make money, why not?
And here's the other side of that coin. If their offense is as good as it's been and just kind of stays the course and Dak's healthy for the full season, and we see the numbers he's done in a full season the last few years, and that defense is as good as we think it's going to be, this Cowboys team's going to be really, really good, and the really, really good quarterbacks that have big numbers like Dak would have get consideration.
Well, and let's face it, you know, Dak Prescott's going to be a story on every national show, whether they're good or whether they're bad, right? They're not going to win despite Dak Prescott. You know, it's not a Trent Dilfer situation with the defense that the Cowboys are going to have. It's a great complementary piece, but he's still the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And with the addition of Brandon Cooks, if he lives up to the hype and the expectation, probably the best receiving core that Dak has had over the last couple of years since the departure of, say, Amari Cooper. So you look at, you know, Michael Gallup upgrade over Cedric Wilson, Brandon Cooks upgrade, and obviously CeeDee Lamb coming into his own. And one of the things that they talked about at training camp is in the receiving room, they're practicing their routes based off the footwork of Dak Prescott. And they hadn't done that before. And that's something that Mike McCarthy has talked about a couple of different times, that they are trying to get everybody on the same page when it comes to the throwing style of the quarterback. Why they didn't do that before, I don't know. It's really into the weeds. But, you know, if the receivers are saying, all right, in our routes, Dak takes 6 steps on this route, if that gets them on the same page, then great. But, you know, Brandon Cooks, over the top threat, Tony Pollard, a screen pass can take it to the house. I do expect big things out of the offense. And back to the premise, I'm not saying Dak's going to win MVP, but if you're looking for a long shot bet, you look at those numbers and you want to make a bet that can make you money. I mean, Dak Prescott's that guy. Trevor Lawrence is that guy. They're both kind of in that same conversation of when you look at the odds and what they're potentially going to do, and you're looking for that long shot, I'd say Dak Prescott.
He is Jason Meigs. Catch him every day on the Blitz from 2 to 6. What y'all got coming up tomorrow?
Coming up tomorrow, along with all the tweets I'm going to get at Jason Minix for being a homer for saying what I just said. We'll go over that and laugh at you. Out tomorrow. I'm ready to see the Wemby effect. How many national TV games are the San Antonio Spurs going to get this year? Plus, John McClain every Thursday, always fun, and he's been at joint practices with the Texans and Dolphins. So a lot to talk about tomorrow on the Blitz starting at 2.
Jason, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Appreciate you, Pledge.
That is Jason Meigs. Catch him every weekday from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. But coming up next, we have Rangers, Angels as Texas goes for the sweep up in Arlington.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation